Hello and welcome to Casual Chat. I'm your host, Alfie Windspring, and today I'm joined by, rather, Tak Kuroda.
Hey, how's it going?
So, it's patch day today, and I'm pretty sure everyone is excited as I am because lots of things to do. But first, a few updates. The patch notes are out, so you can view them on Lodestone, and then, of course, now is the time I have to eat my words, and our predictions are wrong. One, Sephiroth's not ice type. He's plant type, whatever you want to call it, because as apparent in the trailer, and instead of it starting from 210 for endgame rating, it's more like 220, kind of like how we started with uh, Alexander Gordius normal, because we started with 190 gear there, and the, the Alexander normal was the one that got us um, up to endgame level. So it's only fitting that Midas will do the same, Midas normal. So the item levels right now are 220 for Alexander Gordy or Alexander Midas normal, and 230 for the icon gear, which is upgradable to 240, and 240 for the Savage gear, which is the dyeable versions of the normal gear. So, what are your thoughts on that tech, and how does that slightly affect endgame? Because there's this new little thing we have to do before we dive straight into Savage.
I'm actually okay with it. I really enjoyed the first Alexander groupings of the dungeons. I thought they were, pretty good difficulty. I really wasn't too studied up on them when they first came out, but the fact that I had to grind a little bit of gear just to get in there was actually pretty fun. And I mean, the music was pretty catchy too. So I hope this is actually a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and by the way, you can also craft 220 gear. So if you have a high level crafter or know someone that's high level crafter and have the bank account for it, feel free to ask someone to help you along your way, because it's going to be the race to world first again, and I'm excited who's going to be able to clear it this time. Last time it was Elysian. So let's see who or which team will, or FC, will be the world first to clear Alexander Midas Savage. So few things to do now. We have like the senpai system, aka the mentor system. So one of the first things I did, of course, like as a refresher to the people that don't know, the requirements are you need like a level 60 of each tank, healer, and DPS, and then go to just outside Ailport. There's the training hall, the Hall of the Novice, or you could get like level 60 crafter and gatherer and go to the Hall of the Novice. There are other requirements as well, but please look it up in the patch notes if you need details, or the previous episode. But yeah, so like I know you registered for Senpai.
Yep.
Senpai. So what are your thoughts on that system right now?
I think it's really good. I'm happy to be able to be a mentor to people. I think it's very much of a needed system. The Hall of the Novice is a great way for people to learn how to use the mechanics of the game to their advantage, and it's also a great way for people who are new. So, say I have a friend that just joins, and they really want to play Dragoon, but they don't want to wait through those 20-minute, 30-minute, an hour duty timer things. It's a great way for them to just jump right in with a tank and just have fun.
And not to mention that the Hall of the Novice right now actually gives you gear that really increases the amount of XP you get up
Yep.
until a certain point, of course.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the name of that ring that you get is called the brand new ring, and that's a 30% increase, which is huge.
hmm and also the Senpai system, mentor system, allows you to access the newbie network slash novice network, which is an exclusive chat for novices to be invited to. So there are at max 100 mentors at a time can be logged in. So sometimes if you register for mentor system, beware you might not always get into the network if it's full. especially during peak hours, and especially it's a patch day today, so it'll probably wane in the future. But you can have 412 novices to join the network by invite only. So it's an anti-RMT thing. So what are your thoughts on how, I mean, is this going to work? Is it going to keep RMTs out of the network?
I think, I mean, there's plenty of mentors that, fulfill the requirements if you've been playing a long time. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing that RMTs don't have is the long play time, the 1,000 dungeons, the 300 combinations, things like that. Um, because they're trying to keep their cards close to their body, trying not to reveal the the account names and things like that. So I can understand that. So I'm pretty sure it'll be free from pretty much all RMT, which is great. I think that's awesome. But the big thing is being able to kick people from the novice network. Whereas if you start kicking people inappropriately, then you get taken down instead, which is great for people who want to abuse it.
Yeah, and it's a check and balance system. I'm glad that there is like a third party mediator, not just like, oh, anyone can kick anyone in this network, but Square Enix representatives will be reviewing stuff, and if misappropriation happens, yeah, punishments will rain down. But anyway, that's the mentor system, and it's a nice little way. Oh, by the way, if you go with new people and you're within the level thing, or you're in specific instances and duties, you get bonus experience alongside with them. So there's that. Things to do in this patch. Lots of things to do, and of course, no spoilers. It's a spoiler-free episode for everyone. Um, so we have the main story quest, which can be started in uh, near House for Tom, as usual. We have the new primal Sephiroth, which can be started. The quest can be started in Mordona, the Rising Stones. Alexander Midas, you can start that in the Dravanian hinterlands, and of course the Lost City of Andapur, the other hard mode dungeon in the Conjurer's Guild, and of course Hildebrand in the Jeweled Crozier. So nice thing about this, you don't have to necessarily start and end and finish the main story quest um, before you do all of the endgame stuff. The endgame stuff is accessible parallel to the main story quest, so I find that convenient. What about you, Tech?
I mean, obviously, I'm excited for all the content, but looking through the patch notes, since I was stuck at work all day, there's actually a nice little quality of life bit that I saw for dungeon queuing. For those of
Mm-hmm.
us that have to wait a little while, uh, did you happen to catch the "This is your place in line" bit?
Mm-hmm. For that particular role.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Now you'll be able to see whether you're almost ready to queue or you got a while and you can go eat that extra sandwich.
Yeah, and how fast the queue is moving forward, because you could be 100, but if it's ticking down like crazy, then it doesn't matter, or it can be 10 and it's ticking down so slowly that, yeah, sandwich might help.
Exactly. That's one of the big quality of life improvements that I was greatly looking forward to.
Yeah, so another thing that's quite interesting and taking the game a little more in a different direction is the new PvP system, the Feast, which is seasonal, and there's a ranking system. And lots of gamers today love rankings, especially like see where they stand, test where they stand, and how far they can get themselves in a season. So, are you going to be trying to get to the highest tier? Was Crystal?
No, there's not a chance I'll be able to get that high. But I think a more, not really a MOBA centric uh, version, but I think more of a ranked system with seasons and all that. I think that's a good step in the right direction to make PvP more competitive and more widespread. I mean, that's what Guild Wars 2 did. That's what a lot of other MMOs have been doing with their PvP is creating seasons in the rankings. Um, Especially with inside the MOBA genre themselves, they've pretty much all been going to the League of Legends standard of seasons, to help create a more competitive atmosphere and keep everybody fresh and, invested in the game itself. So I'm gonna be definitely trying out the Feast, at least, casually. I probably won't be going too hardcore into it, but I think it's definitely got a lot of promise, and I really hope to give it a really good try.
Yeah, and it's funny you should mention MOBAs because there is now your typical KDA. I don't know how they're gonna calculate your KDA ratio, if it's like kills plus assists divided by deaths or whatever, to see how you stack up against other people on the server. But I mean, it's just nice to see that kind of thing. It's very similar to other MOBAs
Hmm.
in that respect, so it's trying at least for that. And we've seen Square Enix do lots of balance changes on PvP, even fine tuning certain abilities from each class and job so that they work differently on PvP than they do here, or like in PvE environment. So, I mean, I want to see where this leads to. If, I mean, this kind of system, this kind of competitive play is only as good as the people that like bring it forward, take it to the next level, go for the future. And it's these competitive people, let's see how far they can push this PvP element. And like I don't know if we'll see crystal players as early as this week, but it's definitely something that we can see. Remember that shirt we saw in FanFest? Do you even
Oh
PvP,
yeah,
bro?
yeah. Do even PvP, bro. I bet he'll be back at the next coming Fan Fest. I
Hmm.
guarantee it.
Oh, which reminds me, we should make casual chat T-shirts as well. So, yeah. So, some of the favorite things that I'm excited about this patch, like you can see right next to me, is the Orchestrion, which of course changes the background music of the particular place you are in, and it works in the same way as the triple triad cards, in which you have roles of music which can be played in the orchestrion. All you need to do is activate that role, use that role as an item, and it will work on any orchestrion that you own and go to. So, like, I was nervous. I thought, do I have to buy several different types of roles for the orchestrion, and like twice for my house in Limsa and my room here? But it works like your triple triad deck. As long as you activate it once, it's across the board.
Yep, just like your
So,
minions.
yeah, do you have like any piece of particular music that you're looking forward to listening to?
I really hope they have Twilight over Thanalan.
Oh, funny enough, you should say that because the other episode with Zero, he liked that episode in particular as well. That's one of the pieces of music that he wanted to hear.
Yeah, that's my favorite piece out of the
Hmm,
entire soundtrack.
it must be a healer thing. Or it must be people that were partners of Alfie, oh, healing partners of Alfie before thing. Because it's common between you guys.
Yeah, there you go.
But but yeah, so it's like you can easily change the music from one track to the next. Let's see, like if you choose, like I'm playing the Golden Saucer one, or yeah, the Gold Saucer theme. So that's that little ditty, which yes, you can get. Of course, there are 10 slight spoilers, but there are 10 roles that you can get from NPCs. Four of them from the Golden Saucer, or Gold Saucer in particular, which cost a few MGP, of course, as is always the case in the Golden Saucer. Then the other six you can get from NPCs around um, around Eorzea, and they're just your basic NPCs like Macenta from Gridania and Banguzango from Limsa. Um, and you can get those 10 like easily enough. They're the more easy accessible ones, and then you have automatic. If you get those 10, you get a bonus one from doing an achievement. So I'll leave that as a surprise. But collecting, yeah, it's going to be, aside from those easy ones, it's going to be a collector's fest for either getting someone to craft it for you or getting old faded rolls and getting them crafted by someone else for you. um so yeah, it's going to be another triple triad thing. Are you excited about more collectibles?
Oh, always.
Yeah, must run more dungeons. So yeah.
I'm sure we'll
um
be adding them to treasure chests and all sorts of things.
mhm. One thing I am or was looking forward to and am disappointed about not being available right away is the papaya song. Papaya, 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 papaya. I'm pretty sure that they're going for the Easter thing, so it might as well be reserved because Easter is coming soon enough and it's within the patch. So
Sure
it might
is.
be a special role for that. Because I wanted that for today's show, but no papaya song for me. Denied. But yeah, let's see. Um, there there are also weird recipes of rolls which require three different songs, and those might be a little trickier to get. I mean, expect for the first few days while people aren't getting all these rolls for them to be expensive, but don't be tricked into things that can be bought by NPCs just yet. I've seen in the market, it always happens. There's someone selling things that can be easily bought from an NPC for cheap. Something that's worth 5,000 on an NPC can be sold for like 80k, and I've seen people buy it. Is the sad part. So, did you fall into that trap yet? Maybe
No.
at one point
Nope.
or another.
I learned my lesson a couple of years ago.
Okay, so you did fall into that trap one time. At least one time in the past, I guess.
Oh yeah, no, there's always that one aspect of, oh man, I really don't want to do the Beastman Tribe quest to go ahead and get this one type of die. I guess I'll pay 10 times its worth.
Hmm. And yeah, it's those little things that people neglect. I mean, it also goes backwards where people NPC sell some stuff that could sell for expensive amounts of gil or extortionate amounts of gil, like the glaze nut. I remember someone selling a glaze nut for 16 gil on an NPC or something ludicrously cheap when it first came out. So that was sad. So, and I have to admit, I've fallen into that trap a few times. What about you?
Yeah, no, I've accidentally done that. Misplaced a zero on a market board price, but you know what? You suck it up.
I blame it partially on that, partially because some of the icons look the same. I mean,
Oh
for those
yeah.
doing the relic, the unidentified bone looks just like your typical bone chip.
Oh jeez, I almost threw that thing
Inconspicuous.
away. Woof.
Yeah, it's
Scary.
inconspicuous and yeah. But anyway, other things that are for housing, you have like the crystal belt, summon your esthetician, so you don't have to go to your in room. Still don't know how to get that though. And then like the crafting aspect, if you want to get your crafting tomes, they're in Idleshire. If anyone's curious, there are 720 blue tomes or scripts rather each. So be prepared to start grinding them out. But yeah, they're easily accessible in that new corner for all the crafter stuff. So what are you looking forward to doing this patch, Tag?
I want to see if there's any gear that I want to change to my new glamour set. I've been rocking the cashmere set for a long time, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking the icon healer robe looks pretty sweet. So I might try that out one of these days.
Mm-hmm. What about the Hildebrand quest? I mean, I'm
Oh
curious
boy.
about that, but
Yeah, no, I'm really excited about the Hildebrand quest. Been looking forward to that since last patch. It's always absolute joy to go through those quest lines, even the extra fights. He's one of my
mm-hmm.
favorite characters that I just keep coming back for more.
Yeah, and it's always exciting what they're gonna throw in new because when you've raise the bar and sit like this is the amount of hilarity that they're gonna have, and this is the amount of like weirdness that this storyline is gonna go to. They suddenly push that bar even higher,
Oh
and
yeah.
it gets even more surreal. So Hildebrand's always fun. Of course, there's the crafting aspect and the gathering aspect. Are you gonna be touching any of those?
I still have yet to get any of my crafts or gathering classes to 60, but I'll get there eventually. I've just been having a lot of fun, doing the healing thing, and I got my white mage rod finally to pre-relic, I guess. It's the swirly version, so
Mm-hmm.
it's exciting. But I'm probably about maybe quarter of the way done with the quest. Right now,
Mm-hmm.
I'm blowing some gill a little bit on the crafted aspect of it, but I still got a lot of unidentified items to grab.
Yeah, and speaking of those swirly thing like the relics, I mean, I like relic just because it is swirly and what have you, and like it's perfect for weird poses because yeah, like you can do the new pose, which is the this pose, which is from the main story, and I think every job slash class has it.
Yep.
Like has their own little twist on it, and then there's also the this one, their victory pose.
Yes, actually, each class has their own victory and battle pose, which are gained from, and that emote is gained from the main story quests,
Hmm. Yeah,
which
and
I have yet to get.
yeah, I mean they're cute and can't wait to try them on all my jobs and classes and whatnot. I mean, I think it also differs by gender as well. So that's a little exciting thing. Try
Hmm.
it out and get someone else to do it in front of you. So
Exactly. Yeah, there's a couple
yeah.
differences. They're subtle, but they're nice. It's a good flavor.
Hmm. And I do appreciate them being more like we're not just going to stop at making poses and dances and what have you. We're just every patch we're going to add more. I know you've cut your hair for a new hairstyle.
Yep. The new hairstyle that came out this patch, one of I think it was the three that came out for males. This hairstyle was something I enjoyed, so I'm gonna rock that for a little bit and see if it sticks.
Hmm. Well, I mean, if you don't like it, you can always cut it or regrow it. So,
Oh no, I've gotten my hair cut 3 times and it's still too short.
well, I guess it's perfect time for today to start our Tombear trivia time. So, for those that like tune into the show and to those that are new, Tombear trivia time is a little segment that I do that we give a little trivia about Final Fantasy, about the game, what have you, and like little things that you might know or might not have known, and turn it into something interesting. So, like today's Zombie Trivia Time is going to be all about um, the naming conventions that are like Final Fantasy uses a lot because they do have like some sort of pattern to their naming system. So this is today's Tombear Trivia Time. The Final Fantasy series has a trend of naming its characters after elements and meteorological effects. Starting from the remade Final Fantasy III for the DS, we have Luneth in reference to the moon. Then we have Terra and Celis from 6 to represent Earth and the heavens. Of course, who can forget Cloud, who wanders as lonely as his name implies? Then there's Tidus from 10, who's supposed to be like the tides he plays blitzball in. Next, from 13, we have Lightning and Snow, who are as harsh and as gentle as their weather patterns. Then we have Ignis from 15 for fire, and another Luna from 15 to bring us back full circle again. And that's our Tombeer trivia time for today. So it's kind of intriguing to have like the little Mandeville music going on there, I guess.
Man of mystery, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, the reason I have his poster because he is the agent of inquiry, looking for any kind of information that is hidden to us. I mean, he always solves his case. What can I say? So, how do you feel about that? And have you noticed that pattern from Final Fantasy games, Tech?
I sure did. There's also there was a great post on Reddit earlier about the confusing background names of all the idolins slash summons. So there's a lot of back meanings and side meanings and innuendos. Not anything different, weird innuendos. Just secret meanings and all that stuff for all the names, and they always mean something. They don't just
Mm-hmm.
name people willy nilly, which
Yeah,
is
and
great.
I heard that Shiva is not necessarily based off. I mean, coincidentally, is the Hindu god of of destruction, I think, or was it creation? But anyway, um, it wasn't supposed to be based off the Hindu god. Originally, it was just a play on the words shiver in Japanese, Shiva.
Yes.
So there's that
Uh,
kind of thing. But coincidentally, it's named after a god because, like, after you name everything else, after like Odin and
mhm.
a Leviathan and whatnot, where you start drawing parallels, you assume Shiva is also a a religious reference, but not necessarily. It just coincidentally happens to be after the fact. But anyway, like since this is casual chat and we're not just limited to the realm of Final Fantasy XIV, we can also extend our video game realms to other games. And the one I want in particular, because I'm titling this show Final Emblem: The Gears of Fate. So last week, a game that I was really looking forward to and have yet to play because yes, Final Fantasy and real life get in the way. Fire Emblem Fates. It just came out Friday. All three games technically, if you had the collector's edition, but the DLC for the third game has yet to be released for everyone else. So we have three games: Birthright, Conquest, and the DLC Revelation, and it's basically a story of um, you're a kid that grew up, and then now you're faced with a choice of conquering the homeland that you were like you are an adopted kid and you're now having to conquer the homeland of your birth father. So do you defend the homeland or do you side with your adopted father to conquer it? So it's like a adopted family versus blood family kind of thing. Blood family did not know and the adopted family that you grew up with. So birthright is for the Hoshido side, for the birth family side, and then you have conquest for the Nor side, which is your adopted family. So have you like dipped your hand into this a little bit, Tech?
Oh, I'm still working my way through Awakening, but I've read a little bit about it, and it definitely is new and interesting and bold. I like the new direction they're going with the different versions and the different paths you can take. I think it opens up a lot for people to be able to customize their experience in a Fire Emblem game, which up until Awakening you really didn't have much say in. I mean, other than you deciding who lives or dies in the missions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think it's giving the game series new life, and I'm all for seeing more Fire Emblem games in the future.
Yeah, and also like they're different. They're not just different in terms of like which side you pick. They're also different in terms of difficulty. For Birthright, it's going to be more of a beginner level. If you're new to the Fire Emblem series, this is the perfect one for you. It will have more repetitive missions because it's more routing missions, more just finish off the enemies,
Hmm.
and then repeat. Do the finish the boss, finish the enemies. So it's going to be repetitive, and it's supposed to break you in. Because you can turn permadeath off, which is like for purists, permadeath is supposed to be always on. And yeah, but anyway, Birthright is the game for you if you're yet to get into Fire Emblem series, and it's going to be easier. I guess I can really say easier because when you get to Conquest, it's more advanced. So survive 34 turns, or like defeat all these, escort this person, blah blah blah. Um, so it really kicks it up a notch, and if you play it on hard, it goes like, you got some balls, and it's going to really kick them. So because it's really for that advanced player that if you really think you can do it, then by all means. So out of the two, which between the two, which are you going to choose first tag to play?
Honestly, if I could get my hands on it, I'd get the collector's edition that has both. Um, but
Ooh,
if
that's a
I,
cheaty answer.
it is a cheaty answer because I would want to play all of it. I'm not a
Which one
super
did you play
completionist,
first?
but I would definitely play the Birthright first. I admitted I played casual on Awakening because I just don't have time to grind and grind and really hope for the best in a mission. I mean, I'm good at the games, I'm decent, but I'm not hardcore level. But I got a job, I got to sleep, those kinds of
Mm-hmm.
things.
Yeah, I got Final Fantasy, got
Yeah,
tomes to cap, but
exactly.
but yeah, and also I thought that I'd start with Birthright as well on because I did not want to start Conquest, the harder one, and then go to Birthright, the easier one, and just oh, that's nice. I wanted like there's it's better to expect the harder thing to come afterwards, the more difficult thing to come afterwards because it's it just curves your expectation a lot better, and it just goes up instead of dipping down. Because the third one for Revelation is, do you choose your adopted family, birth family? You choose neither side, and it's going to be the true story, the actual like the oh, you unlock this is the true story mode. It's like all the secrets will be revealed, and that's the third DLC, and it's going to require that you buy either Birthright or Conquest as individual games, and then you download that as DLC. So here's how you can purchase Fire Emblem for those that don't know. You can buy a game for $30, $39.99 MSRP, um, and then you can download the other game. If you buy uh, Birthright, you can download Conquest. So if you buy Conquest, you can download Birthright. You don't have to buy two completely different cartridges, unlike Pokemon. So you can download the other game as DLC for half the price, 19.99, and then you can buy Revelation for 19.99. But you only need to finish either Birthright or Conquest, or have the cartridge for Birthright or Conquest, so that you can purchase Revelation DLC. You don't have to finish both those two games. Just need to like get one, and of course, like if you have all three, save file bonuses happen and whatnot. So I mean, if you want details, please look it up and correct me if I'm wrong. Right in, but yeah, it's like it's an exciting game that I want to get my hands on, but I can't find the time of day, and it is more or less going to be around 500 hours of gameplay time for all $80 worth of this game, and
Yeah.
I think that's worth it in this day and age. $80 or for 500 hours of gameplay. I
Oh,
mean,
certainly.
essentially,
Yeah,
yeah.
and just for the record, the collector's edition, if you can get your hands on it for the suggested retail price, it is $80, which is the same price. You're not missing out or anything if you can't get your hands on the collector's edition. I mean, you might miss out on like the art book, and that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the collector's edition, the only difference is it comes with all three games already in one card.
Yes.
So that's like it's an all-in-one bundle. So yeah, like Fire Emblem, for those that have been huge veteran fans of the series, and for those that are just getting into it, there's something for everyone. And even us, the casual people that don't have enough time, we can sneak it in after like a few dungeons, and I'm pretty sure that the queue positions will help.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and so Fire Emblem Fates, everyone try it. Tell us what you think about it. Tweet us at Casual Chat Show on Twitter or Facebook. And yeah, and that's a perfect way to end our our episode for today. I know it's like patch 3.2 and everyone's busy, even us. So it's like trying to cut the episode short. Keep it concise because everyone's trying to get everything done in one day, which is always the impossible, but we always try for the impossible, don't we?
Oh yeah, every time. But I'm probably gonna have to end up doing it on the weekend.
Yeah, it's whenever we can find some spare time. But anyway, Tack, what's your Twitter handle? Where can they find
Um,
you?
my Twitter is at Kuroda. That's TAKKURDA. I don't tweet very much, but when I do, it's usually something having to do with Final Fantasy 14 or games in general. So feel free to follow me. Probably give you a follow back too.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you for coming to the show. It's lovely to have you here in a more casual setting of casual chat. It's more freeform today, so I hope you enjoy your stay on the show.
Absolutely, I always like coming here.
So yeah, and from us, I guess it's goodbye for now, and see you till the next episode.
Bye bye.